She got the one opponent no one saw coming. And it's not who you think. Forget everything you thought you knew about this draw. Everyone was waiting for one name. It didn't show up. Instead, an Olympic gold medalist walked out of that bracket. And within 24 hours, a second bombshell landed that had absolutely nothing to do with singles tennis at all. By the end of this video, you will know exactly why one of the most hyped partnerships in recent WTA memory quietly fell apart just hours before it was supposed to happen. And the answer is not what anyone guessed. Stay with me, because this gets stranger. There is a version of this story where a rising star draws a faded former top 4 player and everyone assumes an easy win. That is not this story. There is a 3-year-old grudge match buried in this draw. A 5-set-worthy 3-hour battle that nobody outside of hardcore tennis fans even remembers. And a doubles team that trained together, smiled for the cameras together, and then vanished from the bracket without a word. Keep watching, because the reason behind that disappearing act only came out in the last day, and it changes the entire way you should be watching this tournament. If you're new here, hit subscribe now, because we are about to go deep into one of the most unpredictable storylines women's tennis has produced all year. The morning the draw broke the internet. It was early Sunday morning, Manila time, when the Wimbledon DC Open draw dropped. For days, tennis fans had convinced themselves they knew exactly what was coming. The rumor mill had been working overtime. Everyone wanted the same thing. A first-ever meeting between Alex Eala and Emma Raducanu, two of the sport's brightest young stars, finally sharing a court. It never had a chance to happen. Raducanu was not even entered in the tournament. Fans who had built up an entire narrative around a match that was never on the table were left staring at their screens in confusion. But what actually appeared in that draw turned out to be far more dangerous and far more interesting than the fantasy match everyone had been chasing. Alex Eala's name sat across from Qinwen of China, reigning Olympic gold medalist, former world number 4, 5-time WTA titleist, a finalist at the 2024 Australian Open, and now entering Washington on a wild card, ranked all the way down at number 123 in the world. That ranking is the headline number, but it is also the most misleading number in this entire tournament. It tells you almost nothing about who Zheng Qinwen actually is or what she is still capable of. Who is Zheng Qinwen? Really? Rewind to June of 2024. Zheng Qinwen was sitting at a career-high ranking of world number 4. She had just come off a run to the Australian Open final, where she pushed Aryna Sabalenka before falling in 2 tight sets. A few months later, she stood on an Olympic podium in Paris with a gold medal around her neck, becoming the first Chinese player, and the first player from anywhere in Asia, to win Olympic singles gold in tennis. She was, by every measure, one of the most dangerous players on the entire tour. Then the body pushed back. An elbow injury required surgery after Wimbledon last year, and it derailed everything. She did not return to competition until February of this year, and the comeback has been a grind. A quarterfinal run at the Athens Open showed flashes of her old form. But she also suffered a first-round exit at Wimbledon this July, and only made it to the second round at the Bad Homburg Open before that. She is still just 23 years old, and she is still undeniably capable of beating absolutely anyone in the world on her best day. That combination, immense talent, shaky form, and a wild-card entry with nothing left to lose, is exactly why this first-round match is being talked about as one of the most dangerous draws in the entire field. The ghost of Hangzhou. To really understand why this matchup means so much, you have to go back almost 3 years to a tennis court in Hangzhou, China in September 2023 at the Asian Games. An 18-year-old Alex Eala walked out that day ranked world number 190. Across the net stood Zheng Qinwen, the top seed, ranked 23 in the world at the time, and the overwhelming favorite in front of a roaring, partisan home crowd. Zheng had not dropped a single set through the entire tournament. On paper, this was supposed to be a formality on her way to the gold medal match. It was anything but. The match stretched past the 3-hour mark. Eala dropped the first set 6-1 as Zheng's power took over early. Then something shifted. Eala started reading the serve. She found her rhythm. And in the second set, down 2-5 and facing match points, she refused to fold. She clawed her way all the way back to 5-5, forced a tiebreak, and won it. For the first time in the entire tournament, Zheng had dropped a set. The third set swung the other way just as violently. Eala raced out to a 3-1 lead, and for a few games it looked like the upset of the tournament was actually happening. Then Zheng caught fire, reeling off 5 straight games to close out the match 6-1, 6-7, 6-3. Zheng advanced to the gold medal match. Eala settled for bronze, which was still the Philippines' first Asian Games medal in singles tennis in 61 years. Eala said afterward that she was proud of herself for refusing to give up in that second set. She had lost the match, but she had clearly earned something more lasting than a result. Respect from a player who would go on to win Olympic gold less than a year later. 3 years is a long time in tennis, and both of their careers have moved in completely different directions since. Zheng became an Olympic champion and a Grand Slam finalist before injury slowed her down. Eala has become one of the most talked about young players on tour. This July, she stunned defending Wimbledon champion Iga Swiatek in a gripping third-round battle that went 7-6, 6-2, becoming the first Filipino player in the Open era to reach the 4th round of a Grand Slam. She rides into Washington on the back of a grass-court swing that included a title in Birmingham, a semi-final in Berlin, and that historic Wimbledon run, and it has lifted her to a career-high ranking near the top 30 in the world. Now, for the first time since that 3-hour battle in Hangzhou, and for the very first time on the WTA Tour itself, these two are set to share a court again. The stakes could not be more different. Eala arrives as the form player and the heavy favorite on paper. Zheng arrives with nothing left to lose and a point to prove. Rankings do not decide matches, and a player who has beaten the best in the world before is never an easy out, no matter what number sits next to her name. The partnership that vanished overnight. Just when fans thought they had processed the singles draw, a second story broke that had nothing to do with who Eala would face on the court, and everything to do with who she would not be sharing it with. Weeks earlier, Eala and 7-time Grand Slam champion Venus Williams had teamed up for the very first time at the Bad Homburg Open, reaching the quarterfinals together before falling to a specialist doubles pairing. It was, by all accounts, a joy to watch. 2 generations of the sport, a rookie and a legend, clearly enjoying each other's company on court. So when Wimbledon announced that the pair would reunite in Washington on a doubles wildcard, fans started planning around it. The tournament's own website listed them as partners. The two were even spotted practicing together on the grounds just 1 day before the draw came out. Then the doubles bracket was released, and Eala's name was simply gone. In her place, Venus Williams had repaired with rising Russian star Diana Schneider. For a moment, this looked like exactly the kind of mystery built for speculation. Was it a disagreement? An unspoken falling out? Williams herself, at her pre-tournament press conference, kept things diplomatic, saying only that things hadn't worked out this time around, while leaving the door open for a future pairing. That kind of carefully worded answer is exactly the sort of thing that sends a story spinning in a dozen directions online. So here is the part almost nobody was reporting in the first rush of headlines. Eala explained it herself. It wasn't a falling out. It wasn't an injury cover-up. In her own words, this was her first week back in competition, and she simply didn't feel physically ready to take on both a singles and doubles workload in the same tournament. She was clear that she has enormous respect for Williams and is grateful for every chance to train and compete alongside her. It was Eala who made the call to step back from doubles, not the other way around, and not some behind-the-scenes rift. It is, in the end, a far less dramatic explanation than the internet wanted. But it is also a smart, disciplined decision from a 21-year-old managing her body through an increasingly packed schedule, with 2 WTA 1000 events in Toronto and Cincinnati still to come before the US Open. Williams, for her part, moves forward with Schneider, a player who already has serious doubles pedigree of her own, including an Olympic gold medal in doubles and a run to the WTA finals last year. What's actually at stake in Washington? Strip away the noise, and here is the real story heading into this first-round match. Eala is unseated in a stacked WTA 500 field that includes Jessica Pegula, Alina Svitolina, 4-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka, Madison Keys, and defending champion Leylah Fernandez. This tournament marks the start of her hardcourt swing, a stretch of the calendar that could see her ranking climb even further given how few points she has to defend from last season. For Zheng, the stakes run even deeper than one match. She is not just fighting to salvage a difficult season, she is trying to rebuild an entire career that, less than 18 months ago, looked like it belonged among the very best in the world. A win over one of the form players in the draw would be exactly the kind of statement result her comeback has been missing. Neither player has ever faced the other on the WTA Tour. Their only previous meeting is that 3-hour war in Hangzhou, and both of them know exactly how close that one came to going the other way. Why this one is worth watching to the final point. This is a match with a 3-year backstory, a talented but wounded former top 4 player looking for redemption, and a rising star trying to prove her grass-court breakthrough was not a fluke on a different surface. Add in a double storyline that briefly had the entire tennis world convinced something had gone wrong behind the scenes, and you have one of the more textured first-round matches you will see all season, buried inside a WTA 500 that most casual fans probably weren't paying attention to before this weekend. If you want to see how this rivalry plays out, and how far Eala can carry her breakout season into the hardcourt swing, make sure you are subscribed and have your notifications turned on, because the story is far from over. Drop a comment with your prediction for this one. Do you think the Hangzhou result repeats itself? Or does Eala finally settle the score? Let us know below, and we'll see you in the next one.